I'm Daniel Shapiro. Today, I'll be talking to you about allergies. So what are allergies? Basically, when your body either gets near a substance or inhales or consumes a certain substance, your body has an overreaction to these allergens. About 200,000 people a year have to go to the emergency room because of their allergies in the United States. And of those 200,000, about 10,000 have to stay long-term. Allergies in general affect about 30% of adults and 40% of children in the US. One way to combat allergic reactions is with an epinephrine injection. When your body gets injected with epinephrine, which is adrenaline. That adrenaline can open up your airways to ease breathing difficulties. It can narrow your blood vessels to make blood flow easier. It just eases your body's functions and makes it easier for your body to perform those functions and then brings it back to a normal level. These injections come most commonly in an EpiPen. There are multiple brands of EpiPen. There's EpiPen, EpiPen 2, EpiPen Junior, Alvi-Q, or the most generic one, Adrenaclick. Asthma is another reaction that your body can have. Asthma can cause breathing difficulties, and it's important to always carry an inhaler with you if you do suffer from asthma, so that in the event that your airways do start to constrict from an allergic reaction, you can inhale yourself and breathe again. But there are some lesser known allergies. There are many allergies that fall under a single category of allergic contact dermatitis. Now, as you can tell from the title, allergic, it's an allergy. Contact, it comes from when you are around a certain substance or substances. And dermatitis, this means that the reaction is in your skin. So for example, nickel is a major allergy under this category. It can happen if you touch nickel. For example, if you're wearing a belt, which often has nickel, your skin at the lower part of your belly will rub against the belt and cause redness and itching in your lower chest area or in your groin area or both. If you'll wear a watch, for example, you might find that when you take off your watch one day, you'll see a shadow of your watch in red, and it will itch, it will burn. It is not fun. Similar to the belt situation, buttons on jeans or other pants, as well as zippers, tend to have nickel in them, so those will cause allergic reactions often in the same area. Another major allergen for ACD is fragrance. Fragrance is used in perfumes, colognes, dyes, tissues even. Some people have extremely severe reactions where they could be in the same room as someone wearing cologne, perfume, or any form of fragrance and immediately contract a massive headache and suffer from severe itching. Some people have it a little bit less severe. If they wear it, they will suffer itching, maybe even a headache. Some people don't even have reactions. Now, the thing to be careful about regarding fragrance is labeling. Unscented may actually have a fragrance to give it that lack of scent. Fragrance-free means there's no fragrance whatsoever. It is completely safe to use. A well-known brand that intentionally leaves out fragrances, dyes, and scents in their products is 7th Generation. 7th Generation makes detergents, fabric softeners, stain removers, dish soap. The thing that makes it so difficult to understand these allergies is that they can actually be triggered at any moment in time. You could wear a watch that has nickel, you're fine. You take it off for the night, and maybe you just don't wear it for the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Then suddenly you're flaring up, your skin is so red, you're itching like crazy. That could actually be from the watch you wore last month, but your body just doesn't react immediately. Sometimes it does react immediately, but sometimes it doesn't. Therefore, it's basically impossible to pinpoint what triggers these reactions. When you get those reactions, you should immediately see a dermatologist. They could recommend anti-itch creams such as CeraVe. Also, there is a program called CAMP. CAMP stands for Contact Allergen Management Program. Doctors can go on the website, select the allergies that their patients have, and then CAMP will generate a PDF list of products that that patient can use that do not contain those allergens, or products that CAMP has determined safe to use by people who have those allergies. The list generates makeup products, jewelry products, household products. It really generates anything that has to do or will ever come in contact with skin. There are ways to avoid triggering ACD. Avoid jeans. Most jeans are not safe. There are some tester kits. It's like a little vial. You open it up, squeeze out this liquid. There's this brush, and you rub it against the metal for about 30 seconds. And if it turns red or pink, then that means that the metal does contain whatever it's testing for. If not, then you're safe. Another safeguard against metal allergies is the patient can use some nail polish, as long as it's been approved by the CAMP list, to provide a layer between whatever the metal is and its surroundings, which include your skin. Applying nail polish to these metals can form a protective layer. It's not 100% effective, so the safest way is to avoid wearing pants with any metal. There are also certain websites that cater to people who suffer from these allergies. For example, nicklesmart.com or nonickel.com, belts and jewelry that people with nickel allergies can wear. Street vendors may say, oh, this buckle is made solely from brass. They can't be 100% sure of that. There could be a nickel alloy involved in there somewhere, like a fraction of nickel. That could be enough to trigger a reaction. A reaction could be triggered by any event at any any time. Therefore, anyone could have this allergy and not even know it until they're in their 20s, 30s, maybe even when they're a lot older. Oftentimes it affects people, usually in their 60s or 70s. Older people will need to have surgery to have replacements for hips, knees, parts of their back, anywhere in their body. And oftentimes these replacements will involve a certain metal. And this can trigger a reaction. But it's not limited to old people. It can affect young people too. By far, nickel is the most common form of ACD. In fact, if you Google metal allergy, nickel is the first one that comes up. The National Center for Biotechnology estimates that up to 3% of men and 17% of women in the United States suffer from a nickel allergy, and 1 to 3% of the entire US population suffers from a cobalt or chromium allergy. So despite the fact that there is quite a bit of prevalence, particularly for nickel allergies in the US, most clothing brands will not list the metals used in their clothing, which is what makes it so difficult to shop when you suffer from ACD. However, some brands of pants do have plastic zippers, may not even have any buttons. For example, track pants are usually very safe because they're usually drawstring. Overall, the best way to protect yourself if you suffer from any kind of metal allergy is to carry testers with you. Keep the camp list that was generated for you in a very accessible place, such as on your home screen of your computer. That way you can easily print out a section of that gigantic PDF, depending on what you're shopping for. To test for these allergies, your doctor may run patch tests on you, which means that they'll put 5 patches on your back. And these contain about a dozen or so allergens per patch on little squares. Put them on your back for a few days, and then once the doctor removes the patches, they see where your body reacted, and then they can match that to the allergen that it was in contact with. From there, you will get the diagnosis. Get a diagnosis, follow the camp list, stay safe. I hope this was helpful and informative. Thank you.